Yeah. Now the recording has started. So hello everyone. This is Prakhar Maheshwari. So I'll be one of the instructors for this summer school that Team Sahaay is conducting, and that's named as Prabha, designed to generate impact. Right. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. Right. So I'll give you a brief intro about what Team Sahaay is, what we do, and then we'll move upon to the content for this summer school. So we are people who are motivated to work upon social issues and solve them through tech solution. So what we do, we develop innovative and frugal tech solution to a wide range of social issues. It can be related to healthcare, sanitation, assistive devices for differentially able people, women's safety, or rural technology, or anything that comes under social innovation, and that can be solved through tech-based solutions. We are really happy to work on them, and we do work on them. Right. Yeah, next slide. So some history about Team Sahaay. So this club was founded in 2012 by some enthusiastic people willing to work upon social innovation and solve the social issues with tech-based solutions. And we have more than 5 national awards. We have done more than 6 NGO collaborations for different sessions and different projects. And we have also done more than 40 projects. Right. So while doing all these things, while working on these different sets of projects, so we do not see what kind of technology will be involved in that. What we see is whether it is socially relevant or not. But we do have people who work upon these different sets of technologies, whether it is electronics, IoT, 3D printing, Fusion 360 for designing, programming, computer vision, uh, robotics, Arduino, etc. So these are the domains that we, in the tech part, we deal with. Right. So starting with the summer school content. So I'll give you a brief intro, what all things we'll be doing in the summer school. So overall, we'll be understanding the process of solving a problem statement, basically the design process, right? So how we'll be doing this? We'll be taking an example as a problem statement that's about automatic waste segregator. I think you guys might know this from the brochure that we shared. So it's one of the project under Team Sahaay. It was one of the project under Team Sahaay. So while doing all these things, we'll cover up some basic steps that are involved in the designing process. Then we'll move on to the technical requirements. So we'll be starting like we'll be talking about and teaching these technologies like Fusion 360. It's an software for 3D designing, mechanical designing. In an electronics module, we'll be dealing with sensors, Arduino, Tinkercad, and we'll also cover up different microcontroller other than Arduino, but we'll go in deep about Arduino. And in the programming module, we'll start with Python basics and then machine learning, neural networks, and CNN. And then after this, we'll have our first prototype. So in any kind of tech-based product, in the tech-based solution, so these are the general, and in a broad way, we can say these are the three modules that we look into in any tech-based solution. So that we'll be going to cover up. Right. So this is the schedule for summer school. So in the first session, we'll be introducing you about the design process, and then this thing will continue to the second session. In the third session, we'll cover up the mechanic module, the Fusion 360 part. The session 4 and 5, we'll talk about electronic module. All the details are being given here. So what all things will be covered. And then the session 5 itself, we'll start with the basics of Python. And then in the section 6, introduction to machine learning. Session 7, neural networks. Session 8 is to CNN. So, and in the whole process, we'll be taking an example of our previous project in the problem statement of waste segregation. Just to keep a note of it, that to get certificate of completion of the summer school, you have to attend 80% of the session and submit all the tasks given after the session. Right. So let's see what all things we'll cover today. Is the voice low? Is it fine or?
It's fine, sir.
Fine.
Okay. 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 And there was a message regarding this. So about basic understanding of steps involved in approaching a problem statement. We'll be introducing to you about that, the steps. And then we'll do a detailed discussion about first 3 steps. And then we'll take an example of an example problem statement that I talked about. And then one of the steps, for the first step, the need of the problem statement. Why do we need to solve this problem? So for that part, we have Madhukar Vashne from Mr. Madhukar Vashne from RISE Foundation. So that part he'll take forward. Right. So yeah. So let's see what this ladder is. All the steps that are involved in the design process. So first step is the need. Why do we need to solve this problem? Right. So we have a problem. We have a problem. So we need to figure out why do we need to solve this. So why it is important? It is important that we might think that this is a problem that people are facing, but in the later part that we might get to know that no, what we have made as a solution, people are not interested in that. Even people are not at all interested in solving that issue. So it was just our mind or we that we were thinking that yeah, this is a problem and it's a mass problem and it should be solved. So that kind of case should not happen. So that's why this step is there. And in the second step, we have analysis of the problem. So what do we do in this step? We analyze the problem, what it is all about, who all people are concerned for it, who all people will be affected, are being affected by this, and what all are existing solutions for this. So this is what we do in the analysis of a problem. And then preparation of a specification. So then it comes to what all constraint or points that we should take care in the later parts. So it's a kind of preparation we are doing. It's a kind of point we are making for further steps, like generation of for the further steps, generation of possible solution, and then selection of suitable solution. So when we are doing this, we take care of whatever points we made during preparation of a specification. And then it comes to production of detailed design in the design aspects. In the theory, if it's about 3D modeling, then whatever 3D models we have to make. If it's about electrical parts and simulations, electrical circuit simulations. If it's about programming, then those kind of simulations are there. That we have done till now, we are going to integrate that and make a final prototype. Right. So let's discuss the first step in detail, the need, or you can say the purpose. Uh, so let us start with it. Right. So I have a problem. So how do you get to know? How do you get a problem? You can get a problem through your customer. If you are running a business or any kind of organization, then you can get it from customer or client, or in general if you are not running anything as such. Yeah, Rahul. Okay. Okay.
Hello, can you hear
Nothing.
me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. I'm a MSc student, MSc Mathematics.
Right.
I just want to, I just came here to learn the programming module. So can I come like join on this 16th of July and get the certificate? I mean, I'll be attending the programming module completely, whatever it is there. These introduction actually, I don't think it's relevant for me, brother. So can I join on those days, like four days continuously, and get the certificate for those things? Programming model, Python, or machine learning, neural network,
Uh,
CNN.
there is nothing like that. So if you want certificate, then you have to attend the sessions. So this is the thing.
Okay, okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine, bro. Thank you.
Otherwise, it's up to you. If you are not concerned about certificate, then it's up to you.
Cool, cool.
Right. So let's see. So we have like right. So how do we get to know problem? One thing is we can get to know from clients or customers, or else there can be some problem that we are facing in general in our daily lives, or it can be a social problem that we see in society as such. So these can be the possible ways to identify a problem or to get a problem. And then after getting that, we have to identify who all are the people who are concerned about it, and who can be the potential customers for it, and why we need to do this part, why this is very important. Can anyone speak up and give some ideas why this step is important? Why we need to identify who all can be the potential customers? You can use chat, or you can also speak up. Okay, then probably I will take forward. So we need to take this in our mind, because suppose if we go forward with whatever problem we were thinking of, and later on we got to know that people are not at all interested, and we do not know whom we have to approach, right? So there is no meaning of whatever we did, and in the later on part we just have to scrap the whole idea. So whatever we did, it's kind of waste. So that's why this step is very essential, and the first step it is. So in the analysis part, these need and the analysis are the first two steps, or the initial steps in the design process. So in this part, we identify what all existing solutions are. So what's the reason for it? Why do we try to find out what all existing solutions are? Can anyone give some idea about it? Feel free to speak up.
Sir, can you repeat?
Yeah, I'm saying that why do we need to find out the existing solution of a problem?
Yes, if you am I audible?
Yeah, you are indeed.
Yeah, Prabhakar. If you have a problem, first we have to find out what are the existing solution is exist. From the existing solution, we can get an idea to get a specific solution for this problem.
Right, that can be a one point. That's clearly pointed out. And another thing is, like this is one point that we can get different sets of ideas, how people are thinking about this problem and how they are trying to approach this. Another thing is, if we do not do this, if we do not try to do some background research on existing solution, so what can happen? Suppose we have not done any background research about existing solution, and we come up with a solution that was already existing. Since we didn't knew that it is existing, and we cross this step, and now we have the same solution. And since we knew that this was the problem, and we didn't knew, and if this solution was there, and still we were facing the problem, and this solution was if we are facing the problem, it means that this solution is not able to solve. And again we have moved forward, we didn't knew about it. One thing is, we have figured out one thing that was already existing, and that thing is not able to solve. So it's like totally waste of time, totally waste of efforts. So that's why step is very essential. And also we can get different sets of ideas how people are approaching a problem statement. And in this stage, we also define a problem statement precisely, so that we do not waste time in figuring out in going different directions. So right, so that's about the analysis of problem. Then we have an example problem statement, the problem of waste segregation. So this issue of waste segregation really needs no introduction. We all know how much this is affecting our life. We might not see this, or we might just ignore because of we do not have much information, or we do not have much knowledge about it. So on an average, there is half kilograms of waste generated per person every day in India, and multiplying it over 1.2 billion population is really a big amount, and it's really increasing our landfills, and it's an issue and that India is facing. So while discussing, we'll not talk about what's happening outside India. So we'll take example of India overall, in overall perspective. So if you see that in Indian households, we fail to segregate the waste. It's a fact, and it can be due to lack of information, or it can be due to inadequate facilities, or it can be just our laziness that is coming because of lack of information. And if I talk about in public places, situation is far more worse, and like some people do not even use dustbins. So thinking that people will use different sets of dustbins for different types of waste is really not possible as of now. So we need to figure this out, how we are going to solve this. And if we are not able to solve this issue in the near future, there will be a point when we'll not be able to accommodate our landfills, and it will be really a bad situation. Then we all know what all things go bad when we talk about landfills. So right, next slide. Right, to understand the process of like to talk about the need and the analysis of the problem that we took, the problem of waste segregation. we have Rice Foundation, who is working in this direction of creating awareness about waste segregation. So Rice Foundation began their journey in 2011 as a non-profit and voluntary organization by a group of concerned citizens from various parts of India for making a social and impactful change through sustainable solution. And today we have with us Mr. Madhukar Vashni, the founder of NGO Rice Foundation. We'll take the session forward and we'll explain about us about this situation of solid waste management and waste segregation. Yeah, over to you. So,
Hello,
yes, sir, you are audible.
I'm
So, are you
audible.
able to share, sir?
Yes, I can see. Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so I'm going to run in presentation mode. So first of all, I thanks you, Prakhar, and your team member who invited me for this session. And I can see all the engineers are there. They may be wondering or may surprised. Although you try to cover aspect of the design thinking and problem statement, knowing the problem is the one of the crucial part of design thinking, because if you are not knowing the problem, then maybe your motivation and the solution may not be in the right direction. So it is quite important to know about the gravity or know about the problem statement clearly. So I will start the session without delaying any further. So the agenda will be, I will be sharing the current situation of waste in Chennai, because you people are in Chennai, so you will be aware. It is good that you must be aware about the situation in the city and the landfill. I will be telling what is landfill, although many people knows. Then we are talking about the categories, climate change, mostly how the waste is connected with the climate change and the composting thing. So this is me. And as you mentioned, I had this is Rice Foundation. We started in 2011. And our main focus area is waste management, environment protection, women empowerment, and education. Myself, I am having experience of 26 years now. Out of that, 23 years I spent in corporate. My last job was in Ericsson. I was working as general manager networks. And then I resigned from the position for doing this activities full time. Uh, uh, the climate change issues or the global warming thing triggered me to do more in the domain. So I'm passionate about zero waste, green and sustainable community. So that is the reason that I am doing this work as full time now. This is a thematic area. You must be aware about SDGs. Now, mostly people are aware about. So if we talk about SDG, so the waste management comes under SDG 11, 12, 14, where we talk about sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and then life below water as well as life above water also. And environment protection, we do a lot of Miyawaki afforestation, which is related to climate action, then life on land, and then the other SDG, good health and well-being, and then rest of the SDGs. So this is the way we are connected, means in today's world where you are living, And if you want to start, or if you are working somewhere, if you want to start any enterprise, you want to start your own work, you need to see, uh, is it impacting the world on any of the SDG? So that is a utmost important nowadays. You cannot just work like because you like it. You try to see that it should impact somewhere, because there are huge set of problems we are facing nowadays. So we have done a lot of projects with many private and government organizations. Earth Day Network, Green Circle, Bhumi Arpan, then Delhi State Legal Services Authority, and many societies, RWAs, and then ONGC. So and then many schools also, and colleges like yours, many Delhi government colleges under Delhi University. If we say solid waste management, we have done in year 2021, it was 75,000 kg solid waste, organic waste was saved for not sending to landfill. And from our efforts, same way we do some activities related to plastic waste. We guide people to make eco bricks, and then we make the structures. So that is also important, that you need to have arrested this plastic waste at source. And this is non-industrial process where you can make eco bricks and make out of something. Then Miyawaki afforestation, as I mentioned, these are the basic things. So now we will move to the main part of the presentation. We are talking about the problem statement, that why waste segregation is needed. So let me share the problem statement with you guys, so that you people will be knowing that on how big problem you are working, and why it is so much important. So is it okay till now, Prakhar?
Yeah, it's totally fine. If anyone have any query, they can ask in the chat, or they can just speak up.
Yeah, it is not going to be any engineering session, so we are not doing a regular study course here, but it is very important, as I mentioned, like Prakhar mentioned about the design thinking. So it is very much needed, and it is applicable to any other project you are working on. So as we say, out of sight, out of mind, and visible and challenging. So how many of you find litter around? Can you see, do you see garbage here and there in the campus? If not in the campus, out of campus, in the city? Have you seen ever the garbage here and there? What do you say?
Yes.
Okay. So we met many people on the street itself, and we ask, have you seen the garbage? They say no, because the problem is so big and so regular that it is everywhere now. So if you go somewhere where the cleanliness is there, like indoor, so people say, see how much clean it is. So that is the thing, means now having garbage is a new normal. If it is clean, then we appreciate. So that is the situation we need to change. So if we talk about Chennai only, Chennai population is around 1 crore, and total waste generated is around 5,600 ton. And there are two dumping site. Some people say it is landfill, but landfill is actually where you are doing a scientific disposal of the waste. But here in India, in most of the places, we are not doing any such scientific treatment to the waste. So these are not different. These are just dumping site. We are just dumping our waste over there. So these are the two sites in your city. And uh, if we see the reports, like Prakhar mentioned, that average household waste generated is around half a kg per day in India. But if we see city-wise, Chennai is generating 0.71 kg. which is around 700 gram, which is highest in any other metro. Like in Kolkata, it is 660 gram. Delhi it is 650, Hyderabad 650, Bangalore 500. And average across India, we can take it as a 500 gram per day. So in one of the dumping site, which is a Parangudi dumping site, it is basically a is reserved. It is a sensitive marshland. Marshland is your wetland, we call it. And if you see in in the map from 1995 to 2015, the yellow one is your dump yard, and then how dump yard is keep on increased, and it is keep on increasing, and it is impacting the ecology of that sensitive marshland of that area. So that area is actually meant is popular for foreign birds come over there, and it is having a lot of value as a ecology site. But this is getting damaged by the municipality by throwing dump your garbage over there. So in this also, if you see the map, in 1984, it was very small. Then it is increased in 2002, and 2016 is further increased. So these two dumping sites are 30-year-old and carrying almost 50% waste of the city. Uh, both the places, each the places, and one site is ecologically very important, but it is also damaged by the garbage which is gone to the site. So from here we can make out that why it is important that we should generate less waste, and the waste should be treated. It should not be dumped somewhere. So if we see the source of the waste in Chennai, you can see here the segregation of the waste, of the total waste which is generated daily. So what is your observation? What do you see here? Anyone can tell? In
So
the graph.
residential wastage is almost 70%.
Yeah. So so the waste which we are getting daily, almost 70% is a residential waste. So that is our problem area. Means we may be working, maybe industrial, we may be working in hospitals, we may be working in commercial sector, and maybe government is working very hard, but the problem lies in residential area. So if we don't work in residential area, the problem will not solve. If we see the government data, which is recent report of Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, they say almost 97% households waste is collected. It is door-to-door service, and around 45% waste is segregated, which I don't agree in principle, because these people usually claim false. And I think you people also will agree on that, that segregation level is quite low in Chennai. And the expenses means it is just not that you are generating the waste, you are creating the landfills, you are creating the mountains like we have in Delhi, but you are spending money also. And how much money? It is whopping around 7,000 crore rupees. So in 2019, government made a special arrangement for 7,000 crore rupees. Out of that, 1,500 crore rupees is only used for collection and transportation. So you can see that 1,500 crore rupees per annum goes only for transportation of the waste. Is it reasonable?
No, sir.
And another 5,000 crore government is planning to invest in a waste to energy treatment plant, because that waste is too much and it is too old. These sites are more than 30 years, and the other 5,000 crore. So you see, it is just not a problem of sanitation. It is just not a problem of cleanliness. lot of tax paying money is going to manage these facilities also, this waste. So it is a two-sided, two-sword problem, two-sided sword we have, where we are generating waste and um, uh, it is not good for us, and as a environment, as a health, as well as for our money also, which we can spend for many other purposes. And our ecological damage cost is not included in this. Means whatever ecology is damaged in the city, there is no calculation that what is the value of that damage. So the problem we find mostly uh, it happen when we mixing all the garbage. Like if you see here that in your room or maybe at your home, you may be mixing everything, and then it is bit difficult for the people. Why it is difficult? One, that it is your waste you are mixing and giving it to garbage man, and then you expect that somebody will do segregation is wrong. Then there is extra expense, as I mentioned, a municipality to transport, add extra manpower to carry this waste from point A to point B, and whatever outcome we are getting is not worth. Means the waste, once it is mixed, then after segregation also the quality of the waste is not as good as it can be. Okay, so this is one scenario, and very common, like in Chennai, this I got a news from internet that resident claim medical waste dump in Chennai Kodangiyar canal. Other one is Chennai garbage, long journey ahead to sustainable waste management. So I think that you people, if you visit city, that you can find those seen almost everywhere in the city. What do you say?
Sir, when it was taken, these photographs, please?
This may be 2019 or 2020 news. These
Yes,
are all
exact.
these are all on internet. It may be some places may be cleared, but again some other place may be started with some other dump on the streets.
Yes, sir.
I
Compared
saw the
to
latest. Yeah, I saw the latest news where Chennai municipality said that they will be penalizing the resident if they are not segregating their waste. They will be charged 100 rupees.
yes, sir. Yes. Now nowadays it's almost somewhat okay. The corporation is guys are doing little bit okay. They are collecting each and every home, and they're compared to 1920 now okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the another part of Chennai where you see, like, we want the city, every part should be like this, neat and clean. If we see, so what is the practice we need? Means we want a good environment, we want a safe environment. So what are the good practices? Like we do plantation, we do revival of waterland, we do rainwater harvesting. Same way, waste segregation at source is also equally important. Okay, because this waste which I am talking here, this is all recent. If city is clean, then it is going to the site. So you are keeping city clean, but you are creating a dump yard somewhere else. However, we can manage this waste at source also. So the clean environment is achievable by not shifting waste from from the site. Means if it is visible, like in Delhi, what they are doing, they are creating big infrastructure. They are covering. Means earlier it was open spaces, you can see the waste. Now they're creating wall around it, so you cannot see. Waste will be there, but it will not visible. So these are the ways they try to handle, because the problem is so big, and the people are not cooperating that much. So if we say that problem is there, the mountains of the waste are creating, the dump yards are creating. So who is responsible for that? What do you say? Is it the people? Is it us? Or is it the municipality?
Yes,
No,
it is
everybody,
a
people,
Who is
people.
people? Why
everybody,
it is so?
everybody.
Because because as we saw, around
70%.
70% waste is generated by the citizens.
Yeah.
And the total waste which is generated out of that 70% is residential waste. So we are the generator, the solution comes from us. We expect them to solve our problem. Means we will generate and they will solve. So this is the tendency we have, which we can, if this is the tendency, we cannot solve the problem. So one of the biggest problem is the mixing. If we stop mixing of the garbage, then half the problem is solved. Okay. So what we say is a tagline: once mixed, cannot be fixed. Okay. So you need to remember this, that once you have mixed all the garbage, all type, then the problem will, you have made the problem now. Why the problem is? Because if you see the decomposition, this is one of the reason. Because if you see in nature, everything, in nature we say nothing goes waste. It recycles by itself. Means if you see a plant, if you see a tree, if you see a vegetable, if you see a fruit, if you see any animal, if you see humans, if they die, they mix in the earth and then they recreate. So everything is decomposable, but and it is possible because the nature made, like nature is like this. But whatever we made, which is artificial, so everything takes a different time in decomposition. If we talk about orange peel, it takes 6 months. If we talk about milk carton, it takes almost 5 years. If we take a cigarette butt, it takes sometimes 1 year. It may go up to 12 years. If we go for aluminum can, it takes 80 to 100 years. If we go to plastic, it is next to decompose. It will convert in microplastic, macroplastic, whatever. So that is the problem when you mix this and goes to landfill or to dumping site. If it is only one type of waste, then it may possible to recycle. But if it is mixed, then because of the nature of the different elements, decomposition timeline is different. They will just create a chaos over there. And then you may have seen the news also. It was just 2 months back, I think, one of the dumping site had fire and it was there for 2-3 days. You can search on internet. There was a fire, big fire, and the dumping sites where we put all this waste, it it damaged the environment. It contaminates the groundwater, it contaminates the soil of that area, and the air is also polluted of that area. And when it is burned, then uh, globally it is said that 10% of greenhouse gas or global climate emission is happen by burning this waste in open. So many places you will find in rural areas, people just burn the waste. So that is also a big problem, burning the waste in open spaces. So then when we burn it, then lot of problem, lot of hazardous gases, toxics released, and it create lot of problem. So what is the other problem associated with one we found related to finance, related to cleanliness, and other we found the problem which is recently identified. It was there earlier also, but now it is participating in a big way. The problem is that whatever food waste we are throwing in the garbage, that is the third largest source of generating greenhouse gas on the earth. So how it is happen when you send this mixed waste to the landfill, it due to unavailability of oxygen, anaerobic process happen and methane gas released. So which is 25 times more powerful than carbon dioxide, and that is one of the reason for us to now act on this, because many other ways of generating greenhouse gases are not in our control, like fossil fuels running industries or your vehicles running on diesel, on petrol. We cannot do anything in that. We can maybe shift on EV, but as a single, as a citizen, my personal contribution is very less, because those are heavy industrial solutions. But on food waste, which is in my control, I can do something. So this is the second problem which we are solving by segregating the waste. That once the waste is segregated, so then we are avoiding, we are saving on methane, which will not be released when we send it to the landfill site. This is one of the graph. It is recent in 2020. If you are aware about COP26, before that there was a Paris Agreement. So so all the countries met somewhere and then they talk about this climate change and environment other thing. So in 2000 it was discussed and agreed the action will be taken so that by 2020 the emission of the greenhouse gases should reach on peak, and then after it may saturate or it may reduce. But if we saw in 2020, there is no sign of reduction of greenhouse gases. Means technically we are not working on the problem as it was needed. And if you see the graph, if CO2 is peaked by double, then the temperature of the earth is unconditionally is going to increase by 2 degree. If we are able to reduce CO2 levels or this greenhouse gas up to 15 gigaton per year, then there are chances that we can save something. Otherwise, increasing the temperature of 1.5 degrees next decade is inevitable from this condition by we are working like this. If we have not improved, then it is going to happen. And we have seen many videos, there a lot of information happen everywhere. Once this greenhouse effect is more, when your global warming happen more, the cities which are there around seaside will be, the water level will increase. So those things eventually going to happen if we have not taken any action now. So it is okay so far.
Yes, sir. Interesting. Please go ahead.
So it is not a small thing. Maybe the segregation activity is very small, very simple, but the problem is so big. Means you can have a big problems and then big solutions. But here the problem is big, but the solution is very simple. So this is the waste type, if we say category, as I was talking about. If you see your daily waste, which is generated generally in any household, so average 60% is your wet waste, which is your kitchen waste in household, and 20% is your plastic, paper, cardboard, metals, glass, which is recyclable. And this organic waste itself is recyclable. Then third category is hazardous waste or maybe your medical waste, which need to be treated, and this this should go to landfill, which is the rejected waste and the hazardous waste after treatment. But two categories of 60% and 20% can be treated well within the society, so that the waste will be reduced by 80% on your landfill side. So it will further reduce your transportation cost. What we are talking about 1500 crores per annum, that will further reduce. So this is very simple. Okay. So this is what I was telling, that solution is very simple. You just need to segregate. So whatever you're segregating, your wet waste will be converting into compost. In your dry waste, you have further segregated. There are two type of waste. One, you can sell it to kabadi wala, raddi wala or recycler. And there is still some waste is left behind, which your kabadi wala will not buy. Reason is not that it is not recyclable. It is recyclable, like your MLP, multi-layer plastic, like your chips, biscuits, These packets are also recyclable. The problem is that the volume and the size is so small that they are not interested to buy. So what we tell people that you can make eco bricks if the recycler is not buying, which is very easy. You can make at your home. So the other portion is making compost from the organic waste. So once you have segregated the waste, then you can make compost, and you are saving sending this waste to landfill. Your composting can be done at individual level. It can done at community level. So it is helping to manage the waste also, and it is creating the compost, which is good for soil also. So whatever we are running that Save the Soil campaign you have seen nowadays. So this is the content which we need to add to the soil. So then you are really saving the soil. So if we see the current situation of composting, which we call it food waste recycling. So in United States, it is around 38%, which is happening. In Europe, it is happening 57%. However, in India, it is less than 10%. So what they say is, if all lower income countries reach to the US level and all higher income countries reach to the Europe level, composting could avoid a methane emission from landfill up to 2 to 3 gigaton. So we are talking about 15 gigaton of overall solution. Out of the 2 to 3 gigaton can be solved by the food waste. Okay. And then we are excluding the additional gains which we are getting from the compost. So this is how it is so much beneficial. If we see the other way, the 1,000 ton of organic waste when go to landfill limits, it is equivalent to 6,639 cars in the road in a year to generate the carbon emission. Okay, and 10,000 ton is not much. And every 1 kg of food waste goes to landfill, generate almost 2 kg of carbon dioxide equivalent greenhouse gas emission. So if you save 1 kg, at least you are saving 2 kg of greenhouse gas emission. That is a straightforward formula. So these are the ways, like you can have a individual composter, you can have a little big where you can have 2-3 families. This can be, third one is a much bigger where you can have 10 to 12 families do composting. We have done many initiatives in Delhi where society level, where whole 250 flats are doing segregation, and then they are doing the segregated waste is used for composting. So we have done for many societies, and then we provide this standalone composter which you can do at home. Then there are horticulture waste, which is leaves and other thing. These are also people burn very usually. If you find here and there are leaves, and second, third day you find somebody burn it, and then say, okay, someone throw the cigarette, maybe someone throw the bidi, but that is not the case. It is usually done purposefully by the municipality. So we do a lot of that activities. There are rule also, means when we say the problem is so big, what are the rules? So there is a solid waste management rule 2016, which says that everybody should do segregation. And then recently in 2018, government introduced the penalty. So there is a penalty on bulk waste generator like your institute. If municipality do it right, enforcement, then if your campus and waste is not segregated, you will be penalized for, I think, 10,000 rupees per month. Okay, so this is the situation. My side, it is end of the slide, and I hope that I'm able to give you the right feedback about, right input about the problem statement. Is there any query, anything you want to ask?
Yeah, anyone can just speak up. Mute yourself and speak up. Okay, then I think
No questions. So means there are only two things. Either you understood everything or you did not understood anything? Only two situations are there.
So
So if you
Yes,
learn,
sir.
your
yeah.
presentation was really interesting. The thing is, it was surprising that the 1500 crore the government is investing from transporting alone. So what is your opinion or suggestion to every people to means to avoid this 70% of food wastage?
I mentioned there that that food waste is, see, you are the engineers, you are the people. Composting is, humans are doing composting since ages. I think when we started the started generating crops, then we realized that okay, some additives need to be there, and then composting came in the picture. Maybe there is no historical evidence available, but it must be there since ages. And which is the easiest thing? Like you have a first thing you need to understand. Mostly household mix the waste, and then they do not realize, and usually municipality collected it in that manner. Like here in this case, municipality claim that 45% household is only segregating. So segregation of the waste is very important. The topic is very important. But how people should empowered, or people should act on segregation. If we increase that percentage, then government, there are a lot of help to the government. So that is one, that in your room, like you are living in hostel, in your campus, means you can do whatever is possible for you. So in your campus, you can create a setup where you say there will be no waste mixing, and then waste must be segregated, and the segregated waste, if you kitchen waste, composting is the easiest way. If you can come out something more valuable, like if you see in Singapore, someone created the pots, uh, planters from the kitchen waste. Okay, there are some other examples where someone is adding the kitchen waste with the cow dung and making the cow dung logs. So the calorific value is increased. So there are various things may possible, but we not explored much in India. However, composting is easy, but in commercial, it is not viable. Means if I run a composting business, I cannot run my business because the cost which I am incurring towards the processing of the waste is very higher than the money which I am getting by selling the compost. Okay, so that is the reason the composting industries are not much in India.
Sir,
Yes, Sarita.
like many people are not aware about like food waste is also generating harmful gas methane. So we could make people aware about that also, right?
Yeah, you are right, Harita, because uh, we are doing awareness session for almost more than 10 years. Earlier, we were not talking about greenhouse gas. Earlier, we were not talking about global warming, because earlier this problem of greenhouse gas was smaller, and the food waste thing was not identified. But now, since it is identified, it is our duty that we should tell people that it is just not a city cleanliness requirement. It is just not a money which your tax paid money is going to just for transportation, just for some other management solution. It is a bigger problem of climate change also. Yeah, it is definitely needed, although people are least bothered about, but it is our duty to tell more and more people and do practices by ourselves. Means you go and ask them and they say, what you do you segregate, do you do composting? You say no, we are not doing, then they will not do. So only
Yes, sir.
talking
Like,
will not help. So only talking will not help.
yeah, not about the talking, but we could start with ourselves and make people aware about these things because few people only know about these things, right? Like, you could understand my point.
Yeah, I got your point. You you can create a team out of your friends. You can discuss more. Like we do, we give sessions in the societies, communities, almost 1 or 2 sessions every month on weekends, and then online, like I'm giving to you online to many schools, small kids, and then colleges students like you. So we are keep on doing this because we know there is no end of this. We know by us only we cannot reach to 100% of the population.
Yeah.
So we are just doing. We are just doing. People are asking, can you give workshop? Yes. Can you give workshop? Yes. So we know because by giving workshops we cannot reach, but there is no other way.
Okay, sir.
So I hope I am able to clarify. I am able to create a problem statement very clear. And since I have a corporate, I have experience of more than 25 years. So I know if you are well connected with the problem, if you are well knowing the problem, then your motivation level will be always high. Otherwise, as and when you face the problems with some obstruction, you keep on trying to is a general tendency. You keep on trying to switch to something else. But here we see what we are doing. Like I am doing, I know the problem is so big. I cannot leave it like this as it is. Like I have a big problem now. I can see waste everywhere. I go out of my home and see everywhere there is waste. Earlier I was just ignorant. I say everything is fine. But now that will be a big problem for you guys. Means if you are taking it seriously, then you will find everywhere. Oh, here is also waste. Here is also waste. Why people are throwing waste like this? है ना? So that is the way it will be motivating you that the problem is so big. If you can contribute a bit on this, little bit on this, will be helpful. If you come out with some solution which is need to be tested in the field, if you come out with anything, you share with me. I am open to help you out, open to work with you guys. Anybody want to work on either it is your technology solution. I have a technology experience. I'm electronics engineer by engineering degree, and I worked in Ericsson, as I said, in telecom, in IT for more than 25 years. So I'm well versed of IoT, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and other things. But I found those things you people are already doing. Someone need to do waste management environment. So I jumped on that.
Sir, which one really motivates you to resign from corporate and to start this type of things?
See, it was just the problem, like Prakhar said, the problem I saw across the globe. I used to travel many parts of the world. Means I've been to Africa, I've been to Europe, I've been to Singapore, Malaysia, and many other places, and they found these two issues are almost same everywhere, and people are struggling. Whether it is a waste management or environment. Environment means like we do plantation or foresting using Miyawaki technique, which is again a way where we can do a dense plantation at very small space, like we have space crunch in urban cities. So these two areas I work upon, and there is a lot of opportunity in terms of applying my knowledge. And I have a lot of project management experience. I have a lot of other type of working experience, which I thought I can apply here also. The problem size is big. I can handle big teams. I can discuss with the agencies. So I thought, why not to do in this area? Because mostly people ignore this. Like if you see in your cities, we talk about in cities, we talk about housing, we talk about mobility, we talk about telecom, IT, because where we talk about revenues, but we never talk about revenues in waste management. We never talk about any sort of revenue or calculation for environment. So these are the areas which are lacking in proper processes, proper working. So I thought I should work a bit and let me see what best I can do.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So if anything, if nothing is there, then we can wind up this session, Prakhar.
No, actually, there is some part remaining from our side. And someone is asking for your contact. How can they contact you if they require any information or anything as such? In the chat,
Okay, so my
they're asking for.
contact information is with you. You have my email and you have my contact number. You can share with the people. And my name is Madhukar Varshne. You can check on LinkedIn. Then Rise Foundation, you can check on Instagram. You can check on Facebook. So we have Rise Foundation NGO, and you can get more information because we do day in, day out something either in waste management or in environment related things.
Okay, great. Then I'll share your all the contact details about you and the Rice Foundation after the session. To all the
Yes,
people.
please. Yes, please.
Right. I think Anish can take forward now.
Okay, so I will take over the next part of the session. So, Prakhar, could you share the screen?
So I will drop now. I think, and I think people may need break. You can think of because it may be a heavy session for the people. It is just a suggestion. Okay, Prakhar.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for giving this much knowledge and making us aware about the situation in Chennai, and it's kind of similar for all over India, right?
Yeah, it is similar for all over. Means if you see the portion of my PPT, 70-80% is same. I just search for the data related to the city and it is more or less same. I have done for this is Chennai, I have done for Meerut, I have done for Delhi always, Mumbai and Uttarakhand, many places like Dehradun. I have done for, in fact, almost the similar situation in Kuwait also. I have done one online session for Kuwait. So they have also the similar problem. So it is worldwide problem. Waste management and environment is a worldwide problem. We are working on that. We are working for a global problem, not as a local, not as a national. It is a global problem.
All right, sir. Well pointed out.
Okay. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Yeah, so
So I think we can probably take a break of 2 minutes or so and let people have some water or something. Then we can proceed. Is it fine? Yeah, I think probably Anish, you can start. Is my screen visible, Anish?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, great.
So, okay, hello everyone. My name is Anish Popre, and along with Prakhar, I am the co-head of Team Sahaay, and I'll be continuing for the remaining part of the session. So, hopefully, now all of us have a good idea about how severe the problem of waste management is in India by the like from the session by Madhukar sir. So now we have covered the first two steps, the need and the analysis of a problem statement. So now we can move on to the third step, which is preparation of specification. So preparation of specification basically means that we need to define the problem statement in a bit more detail or narrow down the problem statement so that we can come up with the best suitable solution for our problem statement. So in this part, we can put constraints on our solution to the problem statement, such as constraints on the aspects of design, such as the parameters or the working parts in our design, or even some economic constraints, such as if our according to our target audience, we may have to do a cost analysis of our product so that it will be affordable to everyone. So next line. So now combining the first three steps of the design process, the need, analysis and specifications, we can say that we come up with a detailed problem statement. So in the detailed problem statement, all of these three steps should be reflected. The need must be reflected in the problem statement, and along with that, we should also have an idea of who are our customers and who are in need of the solution of this problem. And from the second step, which is the analysis, we know the relevance of the problem, and we also learn about the existing solutions to the problem and how they fall short of solving the problem if they are falling short, or how they approach the problem statement so that we can get an idea of that and work on similar lines. And by stating the specifications, we can narrow down the problem statement to something very specific so that we can come up with suitable solutions for the problem. So next line. So just wants to re-emphasize on source level segregation as we discussed in the session why
Excuse me, sir.
yes, yes,
Sir, how long this session is going to be?
maybe more 15 to 20 minutes more, I guess.
Okay, sir.
It won't be up to 7 p.m. as it was stated from 5 to 7. We can, I think, in 15 to 20 minutes, maybe we will close it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so once again emphasizing on why source level waste segregation. So source level segregation basically means that the segregation at the primary site of generation of the waste. So for example, in households or public spaces, and as we discussed that 70% of the total waste which is generated comes from households. So if we are able to segregate the waste at this level itself, it has many benefits. So one of them is that the need of segregating these wastes at the secondary or tertiary level. So like at waste collection centers or at the landfills, the need of segregation will be decreased, and for that the cost of it and the time and energy which will be put into those processes will be less if you segregate the waste at the source. Along with this, it will also reduce the strain on the landfills in the sense that the waste which will reach the landfills, it will mainly be non-recyclable and non-biodegradable. So again, as we discussed in the session, the recyclable waste can be segregated and recycled, and biodegradable waste can be used for composting at the say, individual household level or at a community level. So now in the further discussion, we will focus our attention on solutions which we can prepare to solve the problem of segregation by source level segregation. So, okay. So now the third step, which is preparation of a specification applied to our problem statement.